Alright, well, that was our first little taste of Luke Theophilus's mouth. Oh, Luke Theophilus's mouth. Let's just keep on rolling with chapter 6. I'm going to speed this shit up because I scrolled through this chapter a bit and it looks long as fuck. So if I pause, don't think I'm slowing down. I'm actually just making sure I can skip shit. So here we go. Christian opens the black passenger door to the black Audi SUV, and I climb in. It's a big-ass car. He hasn't mentioned the outburst of passion that exploded in the elevator. Should I? Should we talk about it or pretend it didn't happen? It hardly seems real now. My first proper no-holds-barred kiss. As time ticks on, I assign it mythical Arthurian legend, lost city of Atlantis status. It never happened. It never existed. Perhaps I imagined it all. No. I touched my lips, swollen from his kiss. It definitely happened. I'm a changed woman. I want this man desperately, and he wanted me. I glance at him. Christian is his usual, polite, slightly distant self. He starts the engine, reverses out of his space in the parking lot, switches on the MP3 player. Sounds fucking nice. Christian pulls... Fuck. Luke pulls out to... Park. Out on the Southwest Park Avenue, and he drives away with easy, lazy confidence. What are we listening to? Okay, that doesn't fucking matter. I'm gonna skip this part. Yep, they're listening to music. And he liked classical music, I asked, hoping for a rare insight to his personal preferences. He presses a button and the Kings of Leon start singing. This I know. Sex on Fire. How appropriate. The music is interrupted by the sound of a cell phone ringing over MP3 speakers. Luke hits a button on the steering wheel. Theophilus, he snaps. Mr. Theophilus, it's Welch here. I have the information you require. A rasping, disembodied voice comes over the speakers. Good, email it to me. Anything to add? No, sir. He presses the button and the call ceases and the music is back on. No goodbye or thanks. I'm so glad I've never nervously entertained the thought of working for him. I shudder at the very idea. He's just too controlling and cold with his employees. The music cuts off again for the phone. Theophilus. The NDA has been emailed to you, Mr. Theophilus. A woman's voice. Good, that's all, Andrea. Good day, sir. Luke hangs up by pressing a button on the steering wheel. The music is on very briefly when the phone rings again. Holy hell, is this his life? Constant nagging phone calls? Theophilus, he snaps. Hi, Luke. Did you get laid? Hello, Elliot. I'm on speakerphone and I'm not alone in the car, Luke sighs. Who's with you? Lynn Tran. Hi, Lynn. Hello, Elliot. Heard a lot about you, Elliot murmurs huskily. Luke frowns. Don't believe a word Kate says. Elliot laughs. I'm dropping off Lynn now. Luke emphasizes my name. Shall I pick you up? Sure. See you shortly. Luke hangs up and the music is back. Why do you insist on calling me Lynn? This is the part where she says Anastasia instead of Anna, but Lynn, you're just Lynn, so... Why do you insist on calling me Lynn? Because it's your name. But I prefer Lynn. Do you now? He murmurs. Oh, shit. Let's see. Oh, man. Lynn, he muses. I scowl at him, but he ignores my expression. What happened in the elevator, it won't happen again. Well, not unless it's premeditated. He pulls up outside my duplex. I belatedly realize he's not asked me where I live. Yet he knows. But then he sent the books, of course. He knows where I live. What able cell phone tracking, helicopter owning stalker wouldn't? Why won't he kiss me again? I pout at the thought. I don't understand. Honestly, her surname must be cryptic, not Theophilus. He climbs out of the car, walking with easy, long-legged grace round to my side to open the door. Ever the gentleman, except perhaps in rare, precious moments in the elevator. I flush at the memory of his mouth on mine, and the thought that I had been able to touch him enters my mind. I want to run my fingers through his decadent, untidy hair, but I've been unable to move my hands. I am retrospectively frustrated. I liked what happened in the elevator, I murmur as I climbed out of the car. I'm not sure I hear an audible gasp, but I choose to ignore it and head up the stairs to the front door. Kate and Elliot are sitting at our dining table. The $14,000 books have disappeared. Thank heavens. I have plans for them. She has the most un-Kate, ridiculous grin on her face, and she looks mussed up in a sexy kind of way. Luke follows me into the living area, and in spite of her I've been having a good time all night grin, Kate eyes him suspiciously. Hi, Lynn. She leaps up to hug me, then holds me at arm's length so she can examine me. She frowns and turns to Luke. Good morning, Luke, she says. Her tone is a little more hostile. Miss Kavanaugh, he says in a stiff, formal way. Luke, her name is Kate, Elliot grumbles. Kate. Luke gives her a polite nod and glares at Elliot, who grins and rises to hug me too. Hi, Anna, he smiles, his blue eyes twinkling, and I liked him immediately. He's obviously nothing like Luke, but then they're adopted brothers. Hi, Elliot. I smile at him. I'm aware that I'm biting my lip. Elliot, we better go, Christian says mildly. Sure. He turns to Kate and pulls her into his arms and gives her a long, lingering kiss. Jeez, get a room. I stare at my feet, embarrassed. I glance up at Luke, and he's watching me intently. I narrow my eyes at him. Why can't he kiss me like that? Elliot continues to kiss Kate, sweeping her off her feet and dipping her in dramatic holds so that her hair touches the ground as he kisses hard. Laters, baby, he grins. What a fucking loser. Kate melts. Let's see. Pick you up at 8. Kate says, so did you? No, I snap irritably, hoping that it'll halt the questions. We head back to the apartment. You obviously did, though. Ho! I can't contain my envy. Kate always manages to ensnare men. She's irresistible, beautiful, sexy, funny, forward, all the things I'm not. But her answering grin is infectious. And I'm seeing him again this evening. She claps her hands and jumps up and down like a small child. She cannot contain her excitement and happiness, and I can't help but feel happy for her. A happy Kate. This is going to be interesting. Luke is taking me to Seattle this evening. Seattle? Yes. Maybe you will then? Oh, I hope so. You like him then? Yes. Like him enough to fuck? Yes. She raises her eyebrows. Wow, Lynn Tran finally falling for a man, and is Luke Theophilus hot, sexy, billionaire. Oh yeah, it's all about the money, I smirk, and we both fall into a fit of giggles. Is that a new blouse? She asks, and I let her have all the unexciting details about my night. Has he kissed you yet? She asks as she makes coffee. I blush. Once. Once? She scoffs. I nod, rather shamefaced. He's very reserved. She frowns. That's odd. I don't think odd covers it really, I murmur. We need to make sure you're simply irresistible for this evening, she says with determination. Oh no. This sounds like it's going to be time-consuming, humiliating, and painful. I have to work in an hour. I can work with that time frame. Come on. Kate grabs my hand and takes me into her bedroom. The day drags at Clayton's even though we're busy. We've hit summer season, so I have to spend 2 hours restocking the shelves once the shop is closed. It's mindless work, and it gives me too much time to think. I've not really had a chance all day. Let's see. So Kate goes ahead and gives her a makeover, it sounds like. Doing the hair and plucking eyebrows and shit. Let's see. Oh, she also has the Jose issue. He's left 3 messages and 7 missed calls on my cell. He's called home twice. Kate has been very vague as to where I am. He'll know she's covering for me. Kate doesn't do vague. But I've decided to let him stew. I'm still too angry with him. Luke mentioned some kind of written paperwork, and I don't know if he was joking or if I'm going to have to sign something. It's so frustrating trying to guess, and on top of all the angst, I can barely contain my excitement or nerves. Tonight's the night! I'm about to get some dick! After all this time, am I ready for this? My inner goddess glares at me, tapping her small foot impatiently. She's been ready for this for years, and she's ready for anything with Luke Theophilus, but I don't understand what he sees in me. It makes no sense. He is punctual, of course, and waiting for me when I leave Clayton's. He climbs out the back of the Audi to open the door and smiles warmly at me. Good evening, Miss Tran, he says. Mr. Theophilus. I nod politely to him as I climb into the back seat of the car. Taylor's sitting in the driver's seat. Hello, Taylor, I say. Good evening, Miss Tran. His voice is polite and professional. Luke climbs in the other side and clasps my hand, giving a gentle squeeze that I feel all the way through my body. How was work, he asks. Very long, I reply, and my voice is husky, too low, and full of need. Yes, it's been a long day for me, too. His tone is serious. What did you do? I manage. I went hiking with Elliot. He thumb strokes my knuckles back and forth. My heart skips a beat as my breathing accelerates. How does he do this to me? He's only touching a very small area of my body, and the hormones are flying. The drive to the heliport is short, and before I know it, we arrive. I wonder where the fabled helicopter might be. We're in a built-up area of the city, and even I know helicopters need space to take off and land. Taylor Parks climbs out and opens my door. Luke is beside me in an instant and takes my hand again. Ready? He asks. I nod and want to say for anything, but I can't articulate the words as I'm too nervous, too excited. Taylor, blah blah blah. He's okay. They're going up. Think about it. Shit. Oh, they have to go up an elevator. It's only 3 floors, he says dryly, his gray eyes dancing with amusement. He's telepathic, surely. It's spooky. I try to keep my face impassive as we enter the elevator. The doors close and it's there, the weird electrical attraction crackling between us, enslaving me. I close my eyes in a vain attempt to ignore it. He tightens his grip on my hands, and 5 seconds later the doors open to the roof of the building. And there it is, a white helicopter with the name Theophilus Enterprise Holdings Incorporated written in blue with the company logo on the side. Surely this is misuse of company property. Here's your flight plan. Thank you, Joe. Someone is reserving a plan. Okay. He opens the door and directs me to one of the seats in the very front. Sit. Don't touch anything. He shuts the door with a slam. I'm glad the area is floodlit, otherwise I'd find it difficult to see inside the small cockpit. I sit down in my allotted seat, and he crashes beside me to strap into the harness. It's a 4-point harness with all the straps connected to the center buckle. You tighten, yeah, okay, it's a fucking seatbelt, yeah. You're secure, no escaping, he whispers. His eyes are scorching. Breathe, Lynn, he adds softly. Reaching up, he caresses my cheek, running his long fingers down my chin, and he grasps between his thumb and forefinger. He leans forward and plants a brief kiss on my lips, leaving me reeling, my insides clenching at the thrilling, unexpected touch of his lips. I like this harness, he whispers. What? He sits down beside me and buckles himself into the seat, and then begins protracted procedure of checking gauges and flipping switches and buttons from the mind-boggling array of dials and lights and switches in front of me. Little lights wink and flash from various dials, and the whole instrument panel lights up. Put your cans on, he says, pointing to the headphones in front of me. I pop them on, and the rotor blades start. They're deafening. He puts his headphones on and continues flipping various switches. Just going through the pre-flight checks. Do you know what you're doing, I ask. I've been a fully qualified pilot for 4 years, Lynn. You're safe with me. He gives me a wolfish grin. Well, while we're flying, he adds and winks to me. Winking, Christian? Are you ready? I nod, wide-eyed. Okay, Tower, PDX, this is Charlie Tango Golf Echo Hotel, clear for takeoff. Please confirm, over. Okay, fuck this shit. Okay, so in the helicopter, Christian turns into fucking Top Gun. There's a helipad in the building I live in. That's where we're heading. When you fly at night, you fly blind. You have to trust the instrumentation. Alright, so they're up in the helicopter now. They kind of say some sweet shit to each other. It gets a little serious. No, there's no kissing, nothing. He likes control, which is like he likes the precision of a helicopter. He shows her Seattle, in the nights. The Seattle looks pretty. It's nighttime, She's all like, oh my god. And then, okay. And I feel like I'm on a giant film set. Jose's favorite film, maybe Blade Runner. The memory of Jose attempting to kiss me haunts me. I'm beginning to feel a bit cruel for not calling him back. He can wait until tomorrow, surely. We'll be there in a few minutes, Christian mutters, and suddenly my blood is pounding in my ears as my heartbeat accelerates and adrenaline spikes through my system. He starts talking to air traffic control again, but I'm no longer listening. I think I'm going to faint. My fate is in his hands. We're now flying amongst the buildings, and I head up up ahead I can see a tall skyscraper with a helipad on top. Okay, I thought this was going to be good. It's not good. Let's see. Alright, so the helicopter slows and hovers. Luke sets it down. Luke takes off his headphones. We're here, he says softly. It's so intense. Let's see. Looks strange. Oh yeah. His face is inches from mine. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. You know that, don't you? His tone is so earnest, desperate even, his gray eyes impassioned. He takes me by surprise. I'd never do anything I didn't want to do, Luke. And as I say the words, I don't quite feel their conviction, because at this moment in time, I'd probably do anything for this man seated beside me, but this does the trick. He eyes me warily for a moment. Somehow, even though he's so tall, he manages to ease his way gracefully to the door of the helicopter and open it. He jumps out, waiting for me to follow, and takes my hand as I climb down onto the helipad. It's very windy on top of the building. I'm nervous about the fact that I'm standing at least 30 stories high in an unenclosed space. Luke wraps his arm around my waist, pulling me tightly against him. "Come!" he shouts above the noise of the wind. He drags me over to an elevator shaft. And after tapping into a keypad, the doors open. It's warm inside and all mirrored glass. I can see Luke to infinity everywhere I look, and the wonderful thing is he's holding me into infinity too. Luke taps another code into the keypad and the doors close and the elevator descends. Moments later, we're in an all-white foyer. In the middle is a round, dark wood table, and on it is an unbelievably huge bunch of white flowers. On the walls there are paintings everywhere. He opens 2 double doors, and the white theme continues through the wide corridor, and directly opposite where a nice, gorgeous room opens up. In the main living area, double height. Huge is too small a word for it. Huge. Too small a word for it. The far wall is glass and leads to a balcony that overlooks Seattle. To the right is an imposing U-shaped sofa that could sit 10 adults comfortably. It faces a state-of-the-art stainless steel, or maybe platinum for all I know, modern fireplace. The fire is lit and flaming gently. On the left beside us, by the entryway, is the kitchen area. Alright, so she's just describing his place. Just imagine a nice fucking place, you know? And then make it nicer. "Can I take your jacket?" Luke asks. I shake my head. I'm still cold from the wind on the helipad. "Would you like a drink?" he asks. I blink at him. After last night, is he trying to be funny? For 1 second I think about asking for a margarita, but I don't have the nerve. "I'm going to have a glass of white wine. Would you like to join me?" "Yes, please," I murmur. I'm standing in this enormous room feeling out of place. I walk over to the glass wall and I realize that the lower half of the wall opens to the concertina style onto the balcony. I don't know how that, it's a fucking weird wall. It opens up in some weird way. Seattle is lit up and lively in the background. I walk back to the kitchen area. It takes a few seconds. It's so far from the glass wall, and Luke's opening a bottle of wine. He's removed his jacket. Let's see. He offers her wine. Yes, I'm sure it's fancy fucking wine. Okay, it's delicious. Bill Gates style wealthy. Okay, you're not blushing. You're very pale. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? I shake my head. Not for food. It's a very big place you have here. Big? Big. It's big, he agrees, and his eyes glow with amusement. I take another sip of wine. Do you play? I point my chin at the piano. Yes. Well? Yes, of course you do. Is there anything you can't do well? Yes, a few things. He takes a sip of his wine. He doesn't take his eyes off me. I feel them following me as I turn and glance around this vast room. Room is the wrong word. It's not a room. It's a mission statement. Do you want to sit? I nod. He takes my hand and leads me to a large off-white couch. As I sit, I'm struck by the fact that I feel less like Tess Derbyfield now. I'm struck by the fact that I feel like Tess Derbyfield looking at the new house that belongs to the notorious Alec Dubreuil. I don't fucking get this reference. Whoever wrote this really fucking likes that book. What's so amusing? He sits down beside me, turning to face me. He rests his head on his right hand. His elbow popped on the head of the couch. Why did you give me Tess of the Dubreuils specifically? I ask. Luke stares at me for a moment. I think he's rather surprised by the question. Well, you said you liked Thomas Hardy. Is that the only reason? Even I can hear the disappointment in my voice. His mouth presses into a hard line. It seemed appropriate. I could hold you to some impossibly high ideal like Angel Clare or debase you completely like Alec, he murmurs, and his gray eyes flash dark and dangerous. If there are only two choices, I'll take the debasement. The fuck are they talking about? My subconscious is staring at me in awe. He gasps. Lynn, stop biting your lip, please. It's very distracting. You don't know what you're saying. That's why I'm here. He frowns. Yes, would you excuse me for a moment? He disappears through a wide doorway on the far side of the room. He's gone for a couple of minutes and returns with a document. This is a non-disclosure agreement. He shrugs and has the grace to look a little embarrassed. My lawyer insists on it. He hands it to me. I'm completely bemused. If you're going for option 2, you'll need to sign this. And if I don't want to sign anything? Then it's Angel Clare High Ideals. Well, for most of the book anyway. What does this agreement mean? It means you cannot disclose anything about us. Anyone. Anything to anyone. I stare at him in disbelief. Holy shit, it's bad. Really bad. And now I'm very curious to know. Okay, I'll sign. He hands me a pen. Aren't you even going to read it? No. He frowns. Lynn, you should always read anything you sign, he admonishes me. Luke, what you fail to understand is that I wouldn't talk about us to anyone anyway, even Kate. So it's immaterial whether I sign an agreement or not. If it means so much to you or your lawyer, whom you obviously talk to, then fine, I'll sign. He gazes down at me and he nods gravely. Fair point. Well made, Miss Lynn, Miss Tran. I lavishly sign on the dotted line. Both copies are handed back to him. Folding the other, I place it in my purse and take a large swig of my wine. I'm sounding so much braver than I'm actually feeling. Does this mean you're gonna take... Does this mean you're gonna make love to me tonight, Luke? Holy shit, did I just say that? His mouth drops open slightly, but he recovers quickly. No, Lynn, it doesn't. Firstly, I don't make love. I fuck. Hard. Secondly, there's a lot more paperwork to do. And thirdly, you don't know yet what you're in for. You could still run for the hills. Come, I want to show you my playroom. My mouth drops open. Fuck hard? Holy shit, that sounds so hot. But why are we looking at a playroom? I'm mystified. You want to play on your Xbox? I ask. He laughs loudly. No, Lynn, no Xbox, no PlayStation. Come. He stands holding his hand out. I let him lead me back out the corridor. On the right of the double doors where we came in, another door leads to a staircase. We go up to the second floor and turn right. Producing a key from his pocket, he unlocks yet another door and takes a deep breath. You can leave any time. The helicopter is on standby to take you whenever you want to go. You can stay the night and go home in the morning. It's fine, whatever you decide. Just open up the damn door, Luke. He opens the door and stands back to let me in. I gaze at him once more. I so want to know what's in there. Taking a deep breath, I walk in. And it feels like I've time traveled back to the 16th century and the Spanish Inquisition. Holy fuck.